If you don't learn these things now, they're gonna come back to haunt you later. The amount of mistakes I made when I was in that transition is equivalent to the size of Noah's Ark water park. Constantly doing dumb things, not thinking of anything, just being irrational. Nevertheless, it taught me a lot that we're going to be talking about today. Number one, know who God is. Because if you don't know who He is, then you don't know anything. Everything that you do, that you try to do on your own strength and your own might, will surely fall like the walls of Jericho. Take the time to know who He is, because He created everything. And He has a plan, a future for your life. He will never leave you nor forsake you, for He is good, and He is the greatest friend on this planet Earth that anybody could ever ask for. So, when you have the chance, take the time to get to know Him. I wish I did this when I was younger. I never knew that God could change my life for the better, given what I've been through. God has saved me from so many things in my life that could have killed me, that could have put me in prison. And He's gotten me through so many moments that I thought I would never get through. And surely, He has answered all of the questions that ring in my mind when my mind wanders. God truly is good to me, and I know that He will be good to you. Jeremiah 29, verse 11 explains it all. Number two, take the time to get to know who you are, because nobody knows you like you know yourself. Yes, your parents know you, your family knows you, everybody thinks that they know you. It may be true, but in reality, at the end of each and every single day, you go to bed alone. You don't sleep with anybody unless you do. And even so, nobody knows you like you know yourself. You know the things that you like. You know the things that you don't like. You know what you want with God's help. And if you don't know who you are, the world will tell you who you are. And sometimes the world can be a brutal teacher. I wish I took the time to get to know myself. I wish I had a sit down every night before I went to bed and did a personal checkup on myself. But nope, I was a dead man walking. I was constantly going through my days, doing things for the sake of doing them and not correcting myself, not checking up on myself. I wish I did more of that when I was younger. It would have saved me from a whole lot of things that I had to go through. Number three, having a relationship with your parents and asking them hard questions. This can be hard, but it has to be done. Because if you don't do it at that stage, then doing it later might be a little bit difficult. Because you have already gone through a part of your life, and you will be at a stage where You're now trying to do everything just to make sure that they're loved and appreciated, which you should always do. But it shouldn't necessarily cost you your peace and your happiness. So take the time to talk to your parents and ask them questions, because they're there to help you and they're there to guide you. Me and my mom are very close. We told each other everything, but I never really talked about it with my dad because I had this preconceived idea of how he was going to act if I said certain things. So I kept everything to myself. I didn't tell him the things that I told my mom because I was scared of how he was going to react. I was scared of what he was going to say. I feared him. I still do, but it's a little bit different. We're starting to talk now, and we're starting to get to know each other more. But oh, if we did during that stage, our relationship would have been like any other. So good and open minded. Number 4, the importance of maintaining a social life in high school. I say this primarily because that is the pinnacle of your life. That is the time where you're going to make new friends, make new memories that you will live to tell the world. I'm not saying that you have to go to every game. I'm not saying that you have to sign up for every single extracurricular, but at least meet new people. Get to know them a little bit. Start a conversation with somebody. You never know how it could go. You could be friends. You could have everything in common. And surely you will be drawn more to them and their friends too, because you'll have everything in sync. I never did these things. I never went to any football games in high school. I went to 2 basketball games, but it was only once in my sophomore year and once in my senior year. That was it. Never went to homecoming, never went to prom, never did any of those things because I was so busy on trying to live up to my culture that I lost sight of living, and that I had preconceived ideas in my mind of how things would go if I dared to say them. Number 5, fear nobody but God. Don't worry about what other people are going to say about you if you're different. Don't worry if people are talking about you behind your back. Don't worry about anything, but be happy about everything. Because the more that you worry about things, the more that you overthink things, the more stress, the more anxiety, the more you will probably want to consider committing suicide. And I say this bluntly because it's a known factor. So don't worry. Don't add any pressure on yourself that you know you can't work with, especially in high school. Just do your best. You don't have to be good enough to anybody but God. This was a big, big issue for me because I used to worry about every single thing that I did, how other people were going to view me if I didn't do things the way that they wanted them to be done. I was never at peace. And even if it felt like it, face to face, during the sleep that I had, it was a whole different story. I wish I could have just been at peace with everything and trusted that everything will surely be okay, come what may. These things are important to learn because if you don't learn these things now, they're gonna come back to haunt you later. I want you guys to have fun. I want you guys to enjoy life to the fullest. I don't want you guys to feel guilty of anything that you do. I want you guys to be free. I want you to experience the things that I wish I experienced at the time. I want you to know that you are enough. I want you to know that you are not your grades. You are not your failing score on that test that you studied hard for. You are not what they say about you behind your back negatively. You are a child of the loving Father who graciously wants to form a relationship with you, who knows you better than anybody else. So please, take in heart these things so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. If this video gets 100 likes, I'll do a part 2. Because truthfully, there are a lot of things that I wish I knew at that age that I'm just finding out. Now, if you're an overthinker, like my old self, if you constantly worry about every single thing in life, whether you're doing it right, whether you're doing it wrong, then check out this video here on how to never overthink anything ever again. And I'll see you there.